Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have got a best of one game. A bit of Protoss versus Terran action is going to be coming up and it is on Newkirk. So this should be a fairly exciting game. Down in the bottom left position we have got the red Protoss player from Navi. It is BabyKnight. And his opponent down in the bottom right from my insanity, the blue Terran player Tarson. So these are two fairly decent EU players, and yeah, this should be interesting to see what they're going to be throwing at each other, because this is always when I like seeing what these two players could be doing, because I think that if you start getting up to sort of ridiculously high levels of play, I'm talking like GSL Code S stuff, it's where you start getting, I don't want to say too good, where you can't actually see some creative and interesting things going out, because obviously you see some really amazing things occur. But when you start seeing players who maybe aren't as well profiled, you don't know exactly what they're going to do every game, it makes it a bit more fun, because suddenly you start seeing some quite cool things, you see some risks getting taken, and it's just a different type of excitement to seeing like absolute Code S level stuff. So I'm not saying that you can't have fun watching that, because you most certainly can. You see some amazing new builds thrown out, but some players can come right out of nowhere, and that is always one of my favourite things to see as a caster, is when you get a little thrown off the money, because then one, it makes you know that these guys are constantly innovating, and two, it lets you know that you're not perfect, and it's always good to know you're not perfect, as much as I might like to think I am. I'm sure someone in the comment section there will disagree about that and tell me how ridiculously terrible my casting is. But that's cool. You're entitled to your opinion, and I love you all the same. Now, Tarson, he's gone for a command center first build, because this man knows no fear. He's just like, yes, if I get down enough command centers, I can make many mules, and with many mules, I win games. Mules and Marines are the secret to how Terran players are so successful. Hellbats, they're just flavour of the month, boys and girls. No, Mules and Marines, that's the true secret. That's the staple. It's always been that way. It always will be that way. And there's not much you can do about it. Just lose, unfortunately. But yes, of course, I'm talking somewhat sarcastically there. I think that all of the races have got very strong things. I like to think of it that way, actually. Rather than thinking which race has like the weakest stuff, I always like to try and look for the most OP thing that you could possibly imagine in each race, because that makes it fun. It makes it much more exciting. It's like if you're looking at a Zerg player, you're like, oh my goodness, Mutalisks, they're so OP. If you're looking at Protoss, you can be like, ah, DTs, they're so OP. If you're looking at Terran, you're like, ah, Hellbats. Anything. Like, just make everything in your mind ridiculously overpowered, and then you can never balance wine. It's simple, because everything you've got's overpowered as well. So it's a fun way. Like, I've forgotten what the arcade game was, but I stumbled upon it ages ago. And basically the entire premise was to balance the game, they just made everything ridiculously overpowered. Like, just everything. So everything was broken and crazy and stupid, but my goodness, it was fun. It was like that game, Saints Row, like that GTA kind of knockoff sort of game. If you've ever played that, you'll know just how fun it is when everything's ridiculously overpowered. It makes life enjoyable. But yes, single SCB coming for a nice little scouting path up in the middle of nowhere. Gonna make sure nothing fishy's going on. But BabyKnight, he's just going for a little of, you know, your old aggression, your fairly standard Stargate play. It's pretty much a staple on this map, just because of the way it is. It's the old version of the map as well, so you don't have the interesting parts to do and things like that. It is actually quite an old game, this, from a couple of months ago, that I've just been sitting on for, not for a rainy day, because it's actually really sunny, but just for a day when I'm just like, I can't find a game I'm particularly keen on casting at the moment. So this one's been here as a good game I've got as a backup. I have a nice little folder of those, of games I can't cast right now, but I will do at some point in the future. Now, oh, Probe, you gotta kill. You go, Probe. Go home, tell your family about how awesome you were at work that day. That you didn't just do some mining, you killed an intruder. You'll get a promotion for sure, Mr. Probe. Phoenix, they're coming out after this Oracle. So one Oracle, just gonna do a little bit of pain. Gonna try and poke and prod Marines. Are sitting up here. They're already getting pulled back here by Tarson, so he smells something fishy after that SCV scouted out the Stargate. He's like, well, you're gonna be trying to kill me with something. I may not know what yet, but it's something. So Marines, they'll save me. Marines will always save me. The engineering base coming down. So upgrades can get us started. Missile turrets can start getting up constructed. And this is where now this Oracle's like, gosh darn it. I wish I'd been able to get out here a little bit quicker. There's the Oracle though, he's going straight for the Marines, but there's more reinforcements there, you've got to be careful. All the Marines, a little bit of a misstep there. Is an SCV going to die? One goes down. Can a second one go down? Yes it can. BabyKnight with good control here gets 3 SCVs with that single Oracle. Meanwhile the Phoenix, there's 2 out, just chilling down here. More gateways being constructed. The Nexus and the Natural is finally down, so that can start mining. There goes down a good little scan though. Caesar. There's literally nothing hidden from this scan. This scan is the all-knowing eye. I don't know if Tarson actually knows about the natural base. No, he doesn't yet. So he knows about everything but this natural. If he did know about the natural, that would be overpowered. Because remember, everything's overpowered. I mean, scans, they're overpowered, aren't they? Instantly being able to see whatever you want anywhere on the map just for some energy. Yeah. Try and tell me that's not overpowered. Of course, it's all very good. Now, these 2 bunkers sitting here, so Tarson is clearly a bit concerned about the aggression that could be coming in. The Phoenix are not going to be too much of a threat, though, to bunkers. While Phoenix can lift things, bunkers are slightly too heavy. And that's not that I'm calling bunkers fat, because that would be a nasty thing to do. It's just that they're big-boned, shall we say, bunkers, and these Phoenix, they can't lift them up. Just too heavy. Always makes me wonder why bunkers can't fly, though. I know it'd be crazy, but like everything else can fly, though. Pretty much everything else can fly from Terran building wise, so why can't bunkers? Why wouldn't you want that to be able to happen? Surely it'd be the most, like, why would you need to move a barracks, but not a bunker? Like, that would probably be a considerably better thing to be able to fly around. Just saying, like, from a logical point of view. Would probably be a bit more key, but Oracles, they're doing some good damage here. Is going to go down, got 7 kills before it did manage to die. These 4 Phoenix, not really doing much, not really achieving anything. The work account sitting around the 40 mark on both sides, which clearly favours Tarson because he's got those mules to be a mining. That means his mineral income is going to be a fair chunk higher, about 400 off the resources higher than that of BabyKnights, which is good news for Tarson because it means he's got more money, and money makes stuff, and stuff wins games, remember everyone. Back to those, the very beginning, day 9 dailies, probes and pylons. Seriously, that is one thing that was probably the best bit of advice I ever got when playing StarCraft 2. Was just when you just start concentrating on probes and pylons, you're going to be alright, no matter how bad you are. I came from Warcraft 3, where I played a lot of that, so I always found it a bit difficult thinking about how much extra stuff you get in StarCraft, because in Warcraft 3 you've got things like upkeep. If none of you have never played it, I highly recommend it, but from a StarCraft 2 perspective, it's very different. It's not so much about how much stuff you've got. Micro is huge. Making sure that you use your hero units correctly, all that sort of shizzle, it works nicely, but totally different game. And that's why when I first came to StarCraft 2, it was a bit of a learning curve. But yep, now Phoenix, they're going to try and pick off a medevac or 2. Nearly get 1 there. Picking off medevacs, of course, really reduces the effectiveness of the infantry that's currently marching towards BabyKnight's base. And BabyKnight is not in a position where he can comfortably hold this, because he doesn't have Storm. And that means he's relying completely on gateway units to try and defend a Marine Marauder push that has got Stim, that has got Combat Shield and Concussive Shot and +1. And he has Zealots and Stalkers. Yeah. That seems like an even battle, but now Tarson's going, will BabyKnight be able to hold this off? He does have some Phoenix there. Photon Overcharge has been triggered. He's trying to buy himself some more time. He needs near exactly another 50 seconds, because that is when he will have that beautiful psionic storm where he can start storming down on these Marines and be like, herp dirt, I kill you. And it is nice and simple like that. Storms are possibly one of my favourite things to do in all of StarCraft 2. Just storming down on things, it makes it a joyous occasion. Where even are the High Templars? They're just sitting there. They're ready. Oh, be careful, BabyKnight. You don't want this engagement too soon. Baiting some of these units up. The Photon Overcharge is down. Storm is still 10 seconds away in-game. He's got to try and delay long enough to use that without taking too many losses in the meantime. Storm has now kicked in. Are they going to be able to go down? A lot of this infantry very low. Big storms annihilating most of those forces. Good timing there by BabyKnight. And now Tarson, he has lost nearly all of his forces. Looking at the work account, BabyKnight is behind by 6 plus those 3 mules because the 3rd Orbital Command is there. But he does now have Storm. Ghosts are not on the field yet. There's not even a ghost. Oh, sorry, there is a Ghost Academy. I take it back. There is a Ghost Academy, but the first Ghost only just now getting constructed. Mobius Reactor is on its way down. So this now just means that the Ghosts are just getting rushed down in order to try and deal with these High Templar. BabyKnight, though, he's held off a very deadly push just literally by the skin of his teeth managed to hold that off, just with perfect timing on that storm, delaying Tarson just long enough. But Tarson, he lost a considerable amount, as we can see here, nearly double that of BabyKnight, so that means that he's got to be quite cautious. He's putting up 3 bunkers here, so definitely expecting a counterplay, which isn't even coming. BabyKnight doing actually quite a smart move of saying, well, I've just killed your army, and that means you're probably not going to be able to kill me, so I guess I'll expand. And I like that thinking. Like, most of the things you see pro players do, you should always, if you're ever trying to improve as StarCraft, always try and break things down to the most basic aspect you can of why people do things. What is their thinking? Why can they justify that occurring? So like now, these Phoenix just picking off a couple of workers. He knows that he's taking a third, and but the third of Tarson means that he's not actually getting ahead here. So he wants to try and knock the economy down, keep harassing, and by harassing, he keeps all of Tarson's army back. Plus, these Phoenix also give scouting information, which really just allows BabyKnight to know exactly what Tarson's got, what's the ghost count like at the moment, are there even ghosts on the field? And this is all leading into the timings BabyKnight's going to want to run for, and when he wants to push in, when he wants to try and deal some more damage, and really what he wants to try and achieve. These Phoenix now just being put on patrol duty to make sure drops can't come in and can't deal considerable damage to him while he's moving out. So again, just all these pieces of BabyKnight's play piecing together quite nicely. Tarson, he's just trying to play the macro game. He's ahead in workers, he's got the 3 mules, so his economy is going to be better. Upgrade wise as well, they are pretty equal, 1-1, but 2-2 is about to kick in for BabyKnight, and BabyKnight would be quite wise to wait until that's done. There's the scan to see if the retreat is still occurring, or whether it's just a bait back. The Zealot holding the watchtower gets a good little look of exactly what Tarson's got. The medevac count actually starting to climb a little bit higher. He's up at 6 of them there. This is Tarson just making sure that he's really just getting into the later stages of the game. Interestingly, from BabyKnight, he still doesn't have a robotics. Sorry, he has a robotics facility, but no robotics base. So hasn't gone into that normal Colossi switch. Usually, if you go Colossi early, you'll go into High Templar switch, or vice versa. At around the kind of 15-16 minute mark is when most Protoss players will start rolling in that way, but by not doing it, it's allowing Tarson to just produce medevacs only from those starports, not having to worry about getting Vikings, which means this infantry can do so much. A couple of feedbacks on the Ghost going down, but now here comes down a massive engagement. BabyKnight is definitely forcing Tarson back, but Tarson deciding now to turn and try and fight. There's the stim, he's going into full retreat, but of course the medevacs can get focused down here. A couple of Zealots getting a little caught out of position. And these Zealots, they turn to fight to allow this retreat. A couple of units did try and go around the back, but Tarson and BabyKnight actually, well, Tarson came off a bit worse. They're losing a couple of thousand more resources, but now the Storms are starting to come in. The Archons are there, the Immortals in the back are going to really help with Marauders, and BabyKnight is starting to push his way forward to deal some good damage. A nice little proxy pylon positioning means these Zealots can come in, pick off another Marauder still. Quick little blink forward, the medevac count getting decimated. Only 3 medevacs remaining on the field at the moment, and that means that the infantry cannot get healed up too quickly. 2 medevacs just boosting back, trying to get back into safety. Will they get intercepted by one of these Phoenix? The answer is not quite. Very, very close. Still big engagement though coming down at the 3rd base of Tarson. BabyKnight, he smells blood, he's pushing in. Good, couple of good EMPs there, but it will not be enough. Tarson, GG's out, and BabyKnight is going to be victorious. So congratulations to BabyKnight there. That was a good little back and forth game, very exciting. And remember, if you enjoyed that cast, make sure you like the video, that you leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily. And of course, if you want to support me by supporting my sponsors, then go and check out facebook.com/Plantonics Gaming and give them a like, because that would just be pretty swish. Thank you very much all for watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for yet another new cast.